Hi, I'm Tiffany Hartman. I'm the Director of Student Life, and I want to welcome you to Look Who's Cooking in the Kitchen. All right, so we've had some requests for crockpot meals. So I'm going ahead and sharing a crockpot meal that's a favorite of mine from my childhood. If you're from Northeast Ohio, you might be familiar with it. It's called creamy chicken sandwiches. And so it's really simple, and I want to tell you that all the ingredients can be found in the pantry. So if you are looking for thes ingredients, you can find it all in the pantry. All right, so we're gonna get started. So creamy chicken sandwiches, what I'm gonna use is 4 cans of chicken. And like I said, these are available in the pantry. And I don't drain the water off because instead of having to add water to it, I just go ahead and use the water and it's already got the chicken flavor. So go ahead, and it's deboned chicken basically. It's pre-cooked chicken. If you don't want to use chicken that's in a can, you can go ahead and use cook your own chicken. There's approximately about 50 ounces of chicken here. So if you decided to go ahead and pre-cook your own chicken, you could do that. You could do that in the crock pot, actually. I know that's what some people tend to do. It tastes a little better if you use the fattier part of chicken for this. I know that the chicken breast is a little leaner, and so a lot of people will use like chicken from the legs and whatnot. But like I said, about 50 ounces. You can also sometimes see, if you're ever in the, you know, where you can buy tuna in the grocery store, this is where you find canned chicken. And so a lot of people don't always know that you can do this. But they also sell at grocery stores a really large can, and it's about 60 ounces. But it's, like I said, this is approximately 50 ounces of canned chicken. So I'm putting it all in my crock pot. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, why does she have a plastic? Well, that's just a preference of mine. It's just easier cleanup. I hate scrubbing crock pots. And so it's one of the things that I'd use is a crock pot bag. Don't go out and buy one if that's not something that you normally would use. I am using my larger crock pot because my smaller crock pot isn't being stored, and I didn't want to get it out. So I'm just using my bigger crock pot. What I use this meal for is typically big gatherings. I grew up, anytime there was a big gathering, someone always brought creamy chicken sandwiches. So this is just a favorite of mine. And so shout out to our Northeast Ohio people who are familiar with the creamy chicken sandwich. All right, so I've got my 50 ounces of, and then like I said, it's pre-cooked chicken, but I got my 50 ounces of pre-cooked chicken in there. And then I'm gonna add 2 cans of cream of chicken. Now you can do either cream of chicken or you can do cream of mushroom. Totally your decision. I know in the pantry we have a ton of cream of mushroom soup, but I did not have cream of mushroom soup in my kitchen tonight, so I am using cream of chicken. So like I said, your decision on what you want to do, but if you're getting your items from the pantry, we have a ton of cream of mushroom soup in there. All right. So there's 1 can. Now, if I was only making this for like my family of 4 and I didn't want to make a whole large amount, I would probably only use 1 can of the chicken, or 2 cans of the chicken. I'm sorry, 2 cans of the chicken and 1 can of soup. And that would be just enough for my family. But because I'm making this for a larger group, let's just say that I am, but what really I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this, and we're gonna have this for dinner tomorrow night. And the rest of it I'm going to freeze and put in the, I'm going to put it in the freezer, so that way it's something we can pull out whenever we want. So again, it's one of those meals that you can either have a whole bunch at one time, or you could go ahead and freeze it for later on. I scraped all my cream of chicken out. Like I said, it doesn't have to be cream of chicken. You could go ahead and use cream of mushroom. We have that in the pantry. So we've got our deboned chicken in there, our cream of chicken soup. The next step is your bread. So it's your decision on what you want to use. What I'm using today is like Ritz crackers. Again, we have these in the pantry. And so all you have to do, sorry, you might hear my kids upstairs, but all you got to do is crumble your crackers. Just crumble them really good. Really nice and good. I actually am using, I have the Ritz crackers that have a little less salt, just to be a little healthier with it. But you can use, like I said, I like the Ritz crackers because it's creamy and buttery, the flavor of it. You can also use regular saltines. And then I've also seen people use, and I have some in the cupboard, is like croutons or like stuffing. So you can even use that for your breading. All right, so you just keep stirring this all up. You stir it all up. And all right, I think I need a little bit more. I would use an entire sleeve of crackers. That's just my preference. Like I said, I think that just that creaminess of the Ritz crackers adds a lot of flavor. But a lot of times I use saltines. Today I happen to have Ritz crackers in my cabinet. So that's what we're using. All right. Now, what's great about this is in about an hour, it's really ready to go. But like say if I'm making this and I want to take it to work tomorrow, I could put this on low tonight and just let it cook. And when I wake up in the morning, just add a little bit of water to it. But I'm going ahead and mixing this all up. And I will show you later on after. What I will do is usually, if like I said, I use the water from the canned chicken. So I'm only going to add a cup of water to it now to put this in here, just to have that little bit of water for it to cook. And that's what helps the soup and the chicken, you know, it helps soften it, moisten it. There we go. All right, so we've mixed it all together. Again, you don't have to get the bag. That's a preference thing. And you're going to sit there and think, wait a second, all these chunks of chicken, they seem like really, really chunky. Once it warms up, the chicken, it starts pulling it apart. So that's why I always use like these little spatula things. And so that way I can go in and stir. And then as it gets hot, I just go in and I just kind of stab at it and get that chicken to break up. All right, so one thing you can do is add salt. I really wouldn't add a lot of salt. If you do, just add a little pinch of salt. But one thing I tend to add is celery salt. One of the things I grew up with was people adding celery to it, and I just don't love the little pieces of celery in it. And so I just get a little bit of celery salt, and I just put a little bit of celery salt in there for flavor. Also, a little bit of pepper. The pepper really helps with the flavor. And I don't really love pepper, but just enough pepper to kind of give it some flavor. Don't be offended when, you know, someone adds a little bit of pepper to it later on. My husband always adds more pepper. But there you go. We stir it all up. And again, it's going to cook and it's going to have like a film on it. Like it's going to have like a greasy film as it's cooking. Don't worry about that. Keep stirring it in. And I'll be back in a little bit so you can see what it looks like cooked. But again, chicken, cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup, a little bit of water, a sleeve of crackers, either saltines or Ritz crackers, or like I said, breadcrumbs or croutons, something like that, or stuffing, a little bit of celery salt, you know, maybe a pinch of salt, and pepper. Again, almost everything in here but besides the celery salt can be found in the pantry. All right, so we'll be back in a little bit to check it out and see what it looks like when it's all cooked. See you soon. Hi, welcome back. So we have gone, about 3 hours since I first started this. Normally I would probably go 4 or 5 hours before I would really eat it, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of show you what it would look like. So I didn't mention that you probably should put your lid on your crock pot when you're cooking it. If it's something that you're going to cook overnight, just cook it on low, and make sure first thing in the morning that you check it and kind of take that chicken. Like I said, it'll still be in chunks. And so what I've been doing is every so often I go in and I just, you know, kind of break the chunks up of the chicken. And that way I know that my helper here is going to test it.
Hello.
And so it's you can eat this a variety of ways. So you can have it on crackers, you can have it on bun. I mean, I've even put it on hot dog bun because that's what we've had at the time. So you can eat it however you want. I would recommend that.
That's good.
Well, thank you. That you make it to what you like. So probably the next time I would make this, I would use 5 cans of chicken, just because I prefer it to be really, really chickeny and maybe a little less creamy, but that's totally up to you. When people always kind of ask me, like, what's this like eating it? It kind of reminds you of eating sloppy joes. That's what it's like, a chicken sloppy joe kind of version of things. So when you eat it on a bun, I've seen people take the bun and put it on the plate and just pour it all over it. My mom says she likes to put it on biscuits. You can eat it with a variety of things. So I hope you've enjoyed being part of the my second Look Who's Cooking in the Kitchen, and checking out our Northern Ohio creamy chicken sandwiches. Thanks.